Hello and happy fall. I am just sitting here going through laundry, and I thought that I would just take this time to also just have a little chit chat with you guys and talk about how we are, or I am specifically, going to be preparing our homestead, if you will, for fall. And so if you are somebody who has a homestead, wants to homestead, or even if you literally live in an apartment, there's still things you're going to take away from this video because I use homestead very lightly. To me, I feel like that's a trendy word. Everybody has a homestead these days. And like a true homestead is like you live off the land, you live off your own animals, you like grow your own food, all the things. And I feel like most people who say they homestead do not do that 100% solely. So, but that's okay. Like no judgment. I'm just saying if you feel like, oh, I can't homestead because of where I live, it's not necessarily true, right? Like we can slap a label on just about anything. So basically what we're going to be talking about in this video is like gardening and harvesting any vegetables and produce that maybe you've been growing. And even if you don't have a garden, I'm going to talk a little bit about just like preserving food. We're going to talk about animals and livestock a little bit, what we'll be doing with what we have, seasonal projects that I have, things to do like to be prepared for emergency situations and obviously like cold weather and storms and things like that. And then a little bit of just homemaking things that I'll be doing. That's it. So just kind of like a collection of fun things that we're going to be doing in the next coming weeks to prepare for the fall season that obviously is going to lead into winter. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then stick around because we're going to get into all of that and more. But first, if you're new here, hello, my name is Sarah Elrod. I am a stay-at-home mom of soon to be 3. I'm pregnant with our 3rd right now. And I have 2 toddlers and we live in rural Nevada. We talk a little bit about entrepreneurship, lots of homemaking, homesteading, and as of recently, homeschooling content. So if that is something that you're interested in, please hit that subscribe button. It means the world to us so that you can always stay notified of future videos. And also let me know in the comments down below any future videos you'd like to see, because I would love your ideas on things that you guys enjoy seeing from us. So without further ado, let's get on into today's video. Okay, so like I said, I'm doing laundry at the same time. So if you see me reaching down here, it's because I'm grabbing laundry out of the basket. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is gardening and harvesting. Obviously the fall is a great time to harvest the things and plant fall crops if you're going to do that too. Garlic, I think, is a fall crop. I will be the first to admit I am not a gardener. I do not have a garden. It's something I want to do in the future, but we've talked about it every single year. We did a garden one time. I don't know. We just never did it again. I'm just not that like motivated. I think I'm getting more motivated now, but I was not for a long time. And I don't have a green thumb, so I feel like I'm just gonna kill everything. If you have a garden, obviously the fall is a great time to harvest your summer crops, but this is not necessary. Like I said, if you are in a place where you cannot have a garden or you just do not have a garden, you can still do a homesteady thing with produce, because obviously even in the grocery stores, any produce that they have out right now is going to be better just because it's like way better this time of year. If you go shopping, depending on where you live, maybe if you live in a place like Florida or California or something, it would be better. And I mean, I used to live in California, so I know the produce was better even in the winter months because it's just a good agriculture state. Like where we live, the produce just isn't like super great in the winter. It's not terrible, but it could be better. So I like to buy some things in bulk in advance, and like zucchini and peppers and like all the things that you would typically harvest this time of year. That's just like the best for, you know, what's growing in people's gardens right now. And then I like to like chop them up and then freeze them just raw instead of like don't like cook and freeze them, especially if any of you are like my husband who does not like freezer meals. Like making a full-blown like cooked meal and then freezing it and whipping it out later He just doesn't like that. He'd rather have it fresh, which most people would probably, so I can't really blame him for that. But I do find that if you freeze raw ingredients, like let's say you want to freeze a bunch of stuff for stew, instead of making the stew and then freezing the stew already cooked, just throw all the ingredients that you would put like in your crock pot in like a Ziploc bag or whatever, and then freeze them all raw, uncooked. So then all you have to do is thaw out the raw ingredients and then throw those in the crock pot and cook them, and it tastes fresh. Like you would never know the difference. So things like tomatoes, zucchinis, stuff like that, peppers. And if you want to still feel like a little more homesteady than just buying stuff from the grocery store, now's a great time to go to like farmers markets and get like fresh crops and produce that way too. If you are somebody who wants to do another level of preserving, you could get into canning. That is something that I definitely want to learn this winter. I like to have like a winter project for myself, like I don't know, just maybe the slower season. I like to learn like a new skill. This year I kind of want to learn how to do canning. We're gonna try. I think you can, there's like different methods, because I was like, I don't have like a pressure thing and I think you need one of those to can, but then I heard about water bathing or something to seal it. So I don't know, I need to look into all that, but if that's something you're interested in, maybe look into canning. That could be either a fun project to learn or something that you could try to learn like quickly, and then do that to preserve your food ahead of time for winter. I think that's pretty much all I have for like gardening and harvesting. Preparing ahead of time, like come up with some meals, like meal plan ahead of time. Think about like what types of meals you want to make during the winter, and then chop up all the ingredients and freeze them raw. It'll be really helpful, and it'll be just so nice for those cozy nights in where you're just like, I don't really feel like cooking. I just want like a cozy meal like already done, and then you can just throw it in a crock pot. And okay, the next thing, animals and livestock. Obviously, some people have a ton of animals, a ton of different types of animals. We have purposefully not gone down that route. As much as I would love to have more animals and a variety of animals, we are just not in a place financially to take on a whole bunch of random animals, especially ones that are just for the sake of having them as like pets. If I'm gonna have an animal to take care of and feed, like other than my horses, okay, because they don't do anything for me. They don't make me any money or food other than them. But I would not get like a pig just to have a pet pig. Like the pig would have to be a meat pig, and like if we were gonna get cows, they'd have to be meat cows. You know, I'm not just gonna get a cow just to get a cow. No judgment if you do those things, but it is just not in our budget to do those things. So if we were gonna get those animals, they'd have to be meat animals, and there's so much upfront cost with that stuff. And like ultimately you might save some money, maybe, but in the long run, but it's just cheaper to buy our meat from the store or from like local ranchers and things like that. Good Ranchers, not sponsored this video, but they are a really good option for American meat if you want to go that route. All that to be said, I do have chickens, and they do lay eggs. We get eggs from our chickens, and then we have horses and then our dog. But basically what we will be doing here to get our animals prepared for the cooler months, it's pretty simple. The horses right now are in a summer pasture, which is just a big open pasture. It doesn't have shelters or anything. We put them out in the summer months, and then we move them over to our little winter pasture, which is just the pasture right next to that one, but it does have shelters. So I just like to put them in that one for the winter so they have some protection from like the snow and the elements and things like that. So we'll move them over there eventually. Probably not quite yet. I'll probably wait, because I mean, it's still like 80 degrees here right now. So once the weather like really starts dropping, we'll move them over there. Like if we start getting like rain and things like that, and snow and stuff. But for now they'll stay in the summer pasture, but eventually we'll move them over there. The chicken coop will get cleaned, but that pretty much right now is happening on a weekly basis anyway. Last winter I only had 6 chickens, and they just weren't that messy. Like I did not clean their coop for like a month or 2 at a time. Like I just put a ton of shavings in there and did like a deep bedding situation, so that they could just like compact everything, and it was partially to keep them warmer, but it also just wasn't that messy, so I didn't feel like I had to clean it a lot. But I have 21 chickens now, and their coop gets disgusting in a week. Like literally every week. It is so bad. I actually need to clean it still. Usually I clean it on like a Saturday. That's just been how I've been doing it, and I did not get around to that this past weekend. It's super gross, so I might need to do that today or tomorrow because it's so gross. Like I actually want to gag. We'll also stock up on like bedding materials and food supplies. Obviously, for the most part, we never like run into shortages or like we can't get food for the animals or anything like that. So I'm not too worried about that, but obviously when it's winter, like I don't like to leave the house as much. So, you know, just having things on hand is always nice. And then we'll just have to make sure we winterize like any of our like water systems. So we'll put like a heater in the horse water so it doesn't freeze over. And then I'm not really sure what we're gonna do with the chicken situation yet. We're in the process of getting electricity out there, and my husband was talking about putting a heat lamp out there, which they don't need a heat lamp in the winter. Like they get feathered and like they're fine, but I think that's it when it comes to the animals. There's really not like a ton to do there either, but that's kind of where what we do. Okay, moving to seasonal projects. So being that the weather is still decent outside, we are not covering our furniture on our patio yet, but that will be something that we will do as the weather turns, because I do still go sit outside with my kids when they're playing outside in the backyard and stuff and on the front porch. We will cover our patio furniture. We need to put away like the summer toys. For the most part, I have everything in tubs anyway for storage, but we have like these like stock tank pool things that we use for a pool. And so I kind of want to move that because right now it's like sitting on our back patio and I want it to go away. My husband needs to move that because it's very heavy. I cannot move it by myself. But yeah, we need to put that away. Any pool toys, any just toys in general that aren't going to stay out in the winter. We have like a big sandbox right now with trucks and stuff in it, bikes, and they're drivable like Jeep Power Wheel things. That stuff will all have to get put probably on our porch because that's the only place that we have that is covered. We don't have like a big shed or anything to put them in, and we don't have a garage. So yeah, last year and the year before that, we just put them in like the front porch. Also, just I want to like clean and organize things like our pantry, the sheds, just storage areas for the winter, and just when we put everything away, I just kind of want to like get everything cleaned out. Partially because winter's coming and I just like to clean like when there's a new season. Partially because I have a baby due in January. I'm going to want to do nesting, and since those things are going to be like outside nesting things, I'd rather have I'd rather my husband do it. But that's pretty much the only like seasonal projects that we're doing in that department. We don't have a ton of stuff. Being that we do have a baby due like right after the holidays, I feel like this winter is gonna just be like very chill. Like I'm not planning on like decorating like crazy. My fall decor I have not brought out yet. I probably will bring it out because I don't have a ton of stuff, but like Christmas decor, I have a lot more Christmas stuff. Still not a ton, but I think I'm gonna keep everything pretty simple because the day after Christmas, it's all coming down and it's going away because I'm gonna have a baby in the next month after that. I don't want like I just want my house to go back to normal and be clean. So that's gonna be my big focus on that department. Emergency and preparedness. We're not like in the middle of nowhere. Like we live rural, but we're like 20 minutes away from civilization. You know what I mean? Like it's not that big of a deal. But I do feel like having your pantry stocked with non-perishable items is always smart, no matter where you live, just in case. Making sure you have like first aid kits, lanterns, batteries, candles, lighters, matches, a generator for backup power source. We have an automatic generator that powers our whole house and it kicks on automatically if our power goes out, which is super duper handy. And then we will also, we don't even really have to have like a snow removal system because when it snows here, it's like enough to make the ground white, but it's not like we don't get feet of snow at our house. In town, they get more snow because it's closer to the mountains, but we're like farther out. And so we just don't get that thick of snow here. Like we maybe get a couple inches, but it's just not enough to like shovel anything. Like we don't have to shovel out our driveway to like go anywhere, which is very nice because we used to have to do that at our old house and it's kind of fun, but kind of not probably more fun for me than Tyler because he was the one that had to do it. That's pretty much it. Like I said, we just kind of like to have all the key stuff on hand, as anybody should. We don't do anything super extra or over the top for that. Jumping into homemaking stuff, just a few things. I want to plan out recipes that I plan on trying this winter. Kind of talked about that earlier, but make a list of recipes I want to try and just kind of gather them together, which is going to save me time later on. Like if I don't feel like doing it later, I can just have like a list of go-to things for the winter that, especially if I am really thinking ahead and I freeze stuff ahead of time, like that would just be beautiful. And then also just have like a list of my tried and true recipes on hand. I really want to get better at that. I have a lot of recipes on our blog, lrodranch.com/blog. There's recipes on there that I actually refer to myself. That's kind of where I keep our recipes that I use, that I refer back to. So just goes to show that it's a good resource for recipes if you need food ideas, because I literally use that. That's like, if I have a recipe that I like or I'm made and am using now because I've like created something, I will put it on the blog so that I don't forget it, because like trying to write it down and keep it in a book, that's not how my brain works. So I wish it did, but I like everything kind of just accessible wherever I'm at. And then yeah, like I said, I'll decorate, so that's kind of like a homemaking thing too. I'll get pumpkins, and then like for homeschool we're doing like a whole pumpkin unit and like a Halloween unit and all that kind of fun stuff, and just like fall and things like that. So I will decorate for fall. I last year spent a good chunk of money like doing the whole like getting a bunch of pumpkins for the front porch and the mums and like doing all of that, and I don't really feel that motivated to do that this year. We don't really have anybody come. Like if we were hosting for Thanksgiving or something, I probably would. Or if people were gonna come here like on Halloween or just like in general, like we'll have friends over and stuff, but I don't think we're like hosting anything this fall specifically. So we're the only ones that are gonna see it. And like, yes, I love to see it and stuff, but also it's not that motivated this year. But I'll probably daydream about it, because I like to create things like mood boards for stuff like that and then just never do them. So maybe you'll see that at some point, a mood board for a fall front porch. All in all, I feel like our little homestead out here is very simple and low key. It's kind of how I like to live my life. I don't want to stress out over things and feel like I have to do a whole bunch of things. I do what is easy and what works for us in this season of life. I have, like I said, 2 toddlers and I'm pregnant, so we're keeping things simple. I'm not gonna overdo it. I'm just not going to. I hope that gives you some ideas, or at least makes you feel better that you don't have to do a bunch of stuff if you feel like you did there, or if you like want to homestead but you feel like you can't because of where you live, or you just don't have the resources, or you don't have animals, or you don't have a garden, or whatever it is. That doesn't mean you can't have a homestead, because the word is thrown around so heavy anyway. Like anybody can have a homestead, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and then comment down below. Let me know, what things are you guys doing to prepare your homes for fall and the colder months coming up. I'd love to hear just about what everybody else is doing. Subscribe obviously if you want to see more videos like this, or on homesteading, homeschooling, homemaking kind of content. That's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.